So one of the things, man, that one of the things that I was thinking on actually on the way here was the year's 23.
Right.
2023. So we 3 years into a new decade. And as we continue to just go forward, it becomes easier and easier to go forward within the new decade, because it's like you start to slowly get away from, the things of old. But how do you get away from the things of old? It's simply because the things of old become something that's common to us. Like, for example, in 2020, we were battling with a pandemic. And that pandemic brought about COVID, something brand new. Mm-hmm. Now, people talk almost as though when they talk about 2020, you remember when the pandemic was, oh, wait a minute, we still in the midst of it. It hasn't gone anywhere. But it's like they talk about it like it's past tense. Mm-hmm. So I got to thinking, man, the further we go along and we venture forward, it's like the more we take for granted the things that happened in the past, the things that we've been through in the past. And, oftentimes in a good book, it states that there's no new thing under the sun. And then a man is taking it, put a spin on it. And man says, history repeats itself. His story repeats itself.
Right.
When you look at it like that and you break that word history down into his story repeats itself. Whose story are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because his could be anybody. But I guess if you really don't put a emphasis on who his is, then that means that every story repeats itself.
There's some truth to that, man. Just because like of the relatability, like just going through life and sharing different stories, sharing different moments, and it's like, yo, bro, like I remember this one time that and you just go off of like that, and it's like the similarities in it. It could almost be the same. It could always be. It could share different sections in it, but it's almost like everybody has experienced some form of relatability to where we on different sides of the continent or we on different sides of the nation. But when we meet up, I experienced that a lot in the military. You know what I'm saying? To where a lot of us related on a deeper level,
and that's what connects y'all ultimately.
Right, we had shared experiences.
What are we starting to lose out on? Because we losing out on something as we start to chase forward mobility, as we start to chase the future. In our quest to become futuristic, we start to lose retro aspects. Think about it, because now what happens is oftentimes, if you're not careful, the people that live and breathe and, they swear by futuristic, intangibles, then to be honest with you, they lose sight of, again, the retro aspects of what made us who we were and ultimately who we are today. And so oftentimes it's like it becomes a disconnect if not careful, almost like, yeah, that happened, but it really didn't even need to happen. This is where we are, and technology has allowed us to be this, that, and the other. We didn't even need that. We don't need that anymore. But in a sense, like, you think about it, sometimes when somebody becomes too caught up in the aspects of life that can be called vanity. When people become too caught up in vanity, what's the best way? Like a child, especially like a teenager. I'll give you a scenario. A teenager has been acting up in your household. This teenager is your child, actually, and you like, I can't get through to this child. Everything we've tried is not working. So your approach is broken because you've already tried everything that you feel would work. But the approach that you are taking is more from a today's society approach. So this child is just not conforming to what it is that you're trying to, introduce as far as discipline goes. So in a last ditch effort, most people will say, you know what, man, I'm to the point I want to give up. I'm not able to get through. So now it leaves you in a rock and hard place, so to speak. But it's really not, because then it comes a time where you have to reflect back. In order to go forward, you have to reflect back.
Right.
When I was coming up, what worked for me?
Right, true.
Because obviously what you're doing today is not working for this child.
Yeah.
So you like, well, I'm going to call mama or I'm going to call daddy, whoever. And you know what I'm saying? They discipline was different than your discipline. So a lot of times, the first point is to disconnect them from their present. Their present is more of an extension of the future. So you disconnect them from their present, their touch to the future. And now you bring them backward. So you have to take them back. You disconnect them from the iPhone, the Android, all
right.
that. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden, now you take them on out there to the country. Now it's a whole new way of life, a new way of thinking, new way of doing things.
Right. Now
you got to get physical. When now, a lot of times, the one thing I can honestly say about today's generation, I don't know, it could be me just, stating my own opinion on this, but I believe us as a people, I believe we're becoming weaker. I believe we're becoming smarter, but I feel like we're becoming weaker because the physicality that was needed to survive at one point in time, now people feel like you don't need that. And in essence, what's also happening is, like for example, if you lose your body, what I mean by that is this here. If you're not putting forth the effort to actually to build your body up to a degree through working out, just watching what you're putting in your system, everything else, then you start to lose your being, your physical being. So what happens is nowadays the generation that we're living in, okay, it becomes a quick fix. What's the quick fix? I'm gonna go and get work done. I get work done. But it still doesn't change what's within. And if those habits within haven't changed, then therefore you're just wasting your money on a thought of the here and now.
Right.
To satisfy my here and now, I'm going to go ahead and pay somebody else to make me look how I want to look.
I look the part. But
exactly. But really and truly, the inside's still broken.
100%.
So it's like, man. So today I want to talk to you about. I know that's a long.
Nah, dog, that was spot on.
So today I want to, today I want to touch bases on something that just like dawned on me, man. Let's talk about, retrolistic aspects versus futuristic.
I like that. I was listening to a guy named Les Brown. He said that even if you got all the answers, you probably still wouldn't do it. You just have to start. And I'm gonna just stop right there. Like, even if you got all the answers, you probably still wouldn't do it. And I thought that was like key, because it's kind of talking to what you're saying with all this technology. Sometimes we procrastinate on what we need to do instead of just doing it, right? Like getting your body done, getting work done, quick fixes. You know what I'm saying? Going to the technology first instead of putting in the effort. And for me, I think you have to start where you are with what you have, with where you currently start where you are with what you have. With where you at currently in life. I think that we have more than what we realize available to us that can help us, but because it don't look like much, we overlook it. But I think the point is that when we overlook certain things, man, because of the technology, because it's so complex, I don't know, I guess like you said, the futuristic aspect of it, we think that we need to go through that. That's the new age working out equipment, or that's the new thing, the new product that's gonna help me in the kitchen, or that's the new whatever. And we overlook what we currently have available to us, why it may not look much, like that library. You know what I'm saying? I walk by that constantly. I walk by those dumbbells weeks at a time, not picking them up. But there's like so much information in them. And because it looks so simple, because it looks so basic, we feel like it can't help us that much.
We've been taught to really like gravitate toward the shiny things in life, and it looks new. The future just seems pristine.
Right.
That's just the image that you get, like the Jetsons, man, cars rising above the ground, flying in the air, stuff
Back
like
to the
that.
Future.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
you know what I'm
all
saying?
That stuff, man. They had you hungry and thirsty for the future.
Right.
But really and truly, whatever happened to getting it out the mud? Because people appreciate that. Once you have to go through it, the endurance of making it through the pain, making it through the momentary suffering, just making it through, the setbacks, you know what I'm saying, the mishaps, all of those things, man. Like somebody could have just lost a child, and just making it through that, something something so crushing and demoralizing such as that, a lot of people like, why should I even live? You know, or in their mind, they're looking at it like, you know, they're looking at it in the absolute worst. They're like, okay, I'm not even capable of, you know, I'm not even capable of giving life or bringing life. So why should I even continue to even be alive if I'm not even good for that? A woman might be saying that. I'm a woman and I'm not even good for that. I failed that job. So why should I even be here? But see, when we look at it in the, you know, from that sense, and that's the ultimate. Right. We call that the ultimate. Thinking about that from the ultimate negative sense. Let's look at the ultimate positive. God entrusted you to even carry a child. And granted, the mission in your mind may not have ended up the way that it was supposed to, but for you, it wasn't even about, you know, it was never going to be about the outcome, because the outcome, believe it or not, this is going to sound crazy, but the outcome can sometimes ever be changing. Like it could seem like a period, and sometimes when we look at something and identify that as a period, it's really a comma.
Right.
So that means that you still going on. It's not even finished yet. It was a momentary pause. Mm-hmm. So when you look at it from that, from that perspective, now the next part is this here. That comma equals a test. Your next move would dictate what happens thereafter. If you continue to move forward and you say to yourself, you know what? Yeah, I don't know why that just happened to me, but you know what? I'ma still trust in God. I'ma still walk this thing out the way that I need to walk it out. Still not completely understanding, but I'ma do that. Then what may happen from that is that test becomes a testimony, because now all of a sudden God gives you double for your trouble. What that double could be is twins. Right. Now you getting ready to give birth to twins. Matter of fact, you do give birth to twins. Now you sitting up there, you treat these twins unlike most people ever would treat their one child, because you understand how precious it is to carry a child and to lose a child within the midst of that, So it's like, now from that, you take way better care of your body. You make sure that you're not stressing about every little thing. It's like you start looking at things differently. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's the moment becomes precise to you, and it becomes important to you, because you're like, you know what? Before, I sat up there and I allowed everything, my feelings, to dictate how I was feeling from, a moment to moment. Therefore, I created self-stress. So sometimes we could be our own worst nightmare, But what I'm saying is, sometimes we have to endure through the process. That's the hardest part.
It's it reminds me, you said feelings, endurance, get it out the mud, and it's like, and feelings, you mentioned a big thing, and then getting out the mud, that endurance, that going through the adversity, that's the principles. And I think, like, a lot of times, man, they in a constant battle, your feelings and your principles, your heart and your logic. You know what I mean? It's like two fighters in a ring. You know what I mean? And everybody, each one trying to get the uppercut, each one trying to get the knockout blow, and you constantly battling in between those two. And that's what I realized this past week, man. Like, my principles have to stand stronger than my feelings, because my feelings will have me turning my wheel into the fast food, or turning my wheel to the store, or going here, going there. But my principles,
turning your what?
Turning the wheel. You know what I mean?
Turning your wheel. Mm-hmm. Your wheel. WILL. Turning your wheel.
That's dope.
Look, passion, passion, will, drive.
Oh man, bro.
Passion, will, drive.
That's spot on, man. That's crazy, dude. It's real, man. Cause it's like, for me, I know, like, for principles, it's like your compass, your GPS, and your feelings, your emotions are like powerful motivators also, man. They influence your decisions, your actions, and they also determine your reactions. You know what I mean? Your principles, though, are ever standing, everlasting. Those are the things that's like, they almost like road signs.
They should be your default.
Your default,
when
bro.
When all else fails, you go back to your principle,
right.
Your principle belief.
I'm telling you, man. And that's the constant battle, man. That you have to discipline. That you have to constantly chastise, man. It's almost like a conviction, and that sounds bad in a negative way, but it's a constant thing that you have to mold, that you have to always look towards, almost watching your speedometer, or like watching your gas tank. You know what I mean? And gauging it ever so often. But I thought that was key, man. That's what you said, because feelings and principles, and that's what I had written down. It's like those two are the things, and whatever you're more consistent to is what you're gonna lean more towards. You know what I mean? It's like, just apologies, right? Your feelings gonna have, let's say you get in an argument with your partner, your significant other, your feelings gonna have you like, man, F that. I ain't apologizing. Your principles is what's gonna nudge you, be like, man, I should probably apologize for that. I probably shouldn't have said that. That's your principles. You know, they're like you said, they're the ankle that holds you steady in the waves of lash. Excuse me, those are the anchors that hold you steady when life waves crash into you. You know what I mean? That's what that anchors you down, your principles, man. And you're developed, your principles are developed the more you endure, the more you get out the mud, the more you go through adversity, and the more you're able to tell yourself no, or to not ignore your emotions, acknowledge your emotions, but figure out, while letting your emotions flow, you keep your principles in sight. You know what I'm saying? And it's like your North Star guiding you to wherever you want to go, aligning you back with your goals. But you have to manage your emotions, because they are important, but sometimes they're not always right.
That's true.
You feel what I'm saying?
So that's big. What you speaking on is self-restraint.
Right, bro.
It's like, you know, and that's the thing, man. It's like, man, it's funny. Like, you could cast a rod into the water, man, and little do you know, man, the things within the water could be hungry. They could be biting. Then all of a sudden you get that bite that you're looking for. But it's funny. You want to bite until you figure out the type of bite you get.
Right.
That's what becomes unexpected. You're like, oh, this something big here. You know what I'm saying? Now it's restraint. You try not to go in. You know what I'm saying? You trying to, hey, I need some help, man. It's like, now you got a choice. Let it go, or you just keep fighting and try to pull it back. That's the restraint. You know? It's like, now you trying to become, you know, grounded. You trying to let your gravity of the situation take hold and make it where you could just, hey, look, I'm trying to pull this thing in, but I'm not trying to go in. Right. So it's like, that's
the balance, man. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's the seesaw effect.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to identify and articulate your emotions, right? Like, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling that? I think that's important. I think getting a second opinion, getting a second eye view, a next point of view to maybe talk to somebody about it. You know what I mean? Or share that same commonality. You got somebody that's going to the gym too, that's working out. Talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Lean on them for advice. I think too that self-awareness. Both of those things go into self-awareness, right? Because you have to be aware of self to be able to identify either one of those principles or emotions. You know, and spending time with self. You know what I'm saying? Like I said this a couple times in the past, but I think in those times of adversity, sometimes we run. You know what I mean? We flee from it, and I spoke on procrastination. We'll procrastinate a lot because we think we have to get it right. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? I need a perfect gym. I need a trainer. I need this. I need my refrigerator to be full of healthy foods. I can't have this. And it's like you do all this planning, all this thing, and you see it you see the end goal, and you're like, man. Sometimes you procrastinate because it don't look like that in your current situation. And Les Brown said a great quote. He said, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. You know what I mean? And I thought it was, man, I meditated on that for a long time. I was like, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to be, you do have to get started to be great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, dude, like I really thought about that for a long time. And it's like, you do what you can with what you have, with where you at. You know, and those are kind of the principles, and those are things that I kind of realigned with this past week, because it's true. And a lot of times you don't need the apps and the watches and the, you know.
Sometimes you got to go back to the retro approach.
Bruh, you don't need all that stuff,
Sometimes that's the distraction within itself.
Bruh, I'm telling you, man.
Sometimes, bruh, it's so distracting to the point you get to looking at something, you're like, bruh, how to even work this thing? Now you spending time trying to figure out how to work it. Now you didn't discourage yourself from even doing it because you feel like you didn't got a mental workout. So now, man, I'm done.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? But it's like a lot of times, man, it's just, man, it's getting back to the basics.
It really is.
You know, like a sit-up. yeah, I've heard cases in which certain people, doing sit-ups, it may hurt your back. So okay, it might be time to find like a alternative to doing the sit-up. But again, it's different ways you can take and work the obliques, you can work the abs, all of that. It's just now figuring out what works for you.
Right.
But the thing about it, so you mean to tell me like an app, you're gonna be in the presence of an app, and then if the app just decide today it's not wanting to do it, now I got attitude. I don't feel like doing it today. So what? I guess we don't feel like doing it either.
Right.
Nah, it's your commitment to the process. It's like that's the thing, and see that's the like for example, man. What got me on this whole conversation? I got to thinking about it, man. I'm gonna ask you something, man. When the last time you wrote a letter to someone?
It's been a minute. I done typed a bunch, but I ain't physically wrote one in a long time, man. That's crazy.
I think that's.
I don't even think I took notes in a while.
But these are things, man. These are like pieces of art, man, that will become a lost art if we stop doing it.
Right.
Like for example, you think about your daughter, man. Your daughter get to the point of being a teenager, right? You say you can mention a word, encyclopedia, and how you think she might take it? Encyclopedia, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Let alone, I want you to go and write your grandmother a letter, and you know what I'm saying, and mail it to her.
Mm-hmm.
How many people, teenagers to this day, do you think will be able to do that? Because suppose technology shut down and we still need to communicate. The one thing about it, the post office is still open. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even understand what that, it's almost like a little flag on the side of your mailbox. What that's
right.
A lot of people don't even understand what that is. Oh, I just thought that was decoration on it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You put it up. That signifies to the mailman that you got mail to be
Going
taken.
out. Right.
A lot of people don't even know that, man. It's like the stuff that's right in front of our face is becoming a lost art because we don't even utilize it. Mm-hmm. Whatever you don't utilize, it after a while, man, it becomes a resource that's weak.
Definitely, bro.
If it's a body part that you don't use in a while, it becomes weak. And what happens when it's weak? It can be exploited.
100%, bro.
So it's like we have to go back to, we have to strengthen our resilience. We have to strengthen our, wherewithal. We have to strengthen all of these things, or sometimes just challenge ourselves to learn what used to be and how what used to be can still fit into today.
Right. The basic things, man, will get you through and take you a lot further than all this extra complexity materials or technology that you want to add, these devices, these things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, man. I'm not advocating that they're not good or whatever the case may be, but I think sometimes if we get lost or we find ourselves not reaching where we need to go, sometimes we need to reel it back in and get back to the basics of, okay, what do I truly need? What is truly important? You know what I'm saying? What are the 3 things I'm shooting for right now in this period of my time, in this season of my life? You know what I'm saying? What do I need to get those things? If I didn't have nothing else and I can only pick 3 to 5 things to bring with me or 3 to 5 things to reach my goal, what would it be? You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes when we simplify it, then we're able to move a lot further to the point where we can start implementing more and more as we go along.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things, man, to where, like you said, the shiny object syndrome, to where something come out and you're like, I need that.
We own
the new iWatch, the new this, and it's like, I need that. Yeah. It's like, why?
And the crazy part about it, even that I want that. Let's talk about that for a second. I want that versus I need that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's classify the two in 2 different groups. I want that normally goes over here. It goes to the left because that's what the future. It's like that new shiny object. I need that a lot of times. It's significant for growth because that's a foundational approach a lot of times. Like, if you don't know who your ancestors are, then to be honest with you, a lot of times a lot of people, I'm not saying every case, but a lot of people become kind of lost in the world because they're trying to find out, who am I? Where do I come from? What's my story? You know what I'm saying? How do I fit into the grand scheme of things? Where, biblically, if they're introduced to the Bible or introduced to, the aspects that most would call religion, or things like that. They tend to tie themselves into that. But again, when we talking about a family, there's nothing more. It's nothing more concerning to me. This is just my opinion, than a person that wants to know who they are, and it seems like they just keep running into dead ends, because it's like their history, for whatever reason, meaning like their parents, or if they was in a foster system or whatever, it's like they just don't have access to get to where they trying to go at. But they're trying, they're earnestly trying, but they just don't have the means, or they don't have the breadcrumbs to follow to get them back to to the source. They can't plug in, right, because the source does not exist. Now, plugging into the source, now that sounds today or futuristic, because now for a cell phone, some of us, we look at ourselves as the phone, but we need to be charged. So if you don't have the source to plug into, then to be honest with you, you're no good.
100%, man. That's real though. It's almost like a mental puzzle piece. Like you said, it's almost like a basic need, because we, those questions are important and we want to find those answers, man. And sometimes it's one of those things to where if you don't have this piece, sometimes it restricts you from moving on to this. It's at this level. You missing this key. You missing this little bit of information that can hinder you from moving forward to this. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's super important, man. I think it's tied into each other, like feelings, principles, consistency, discipline. All these things are like intertwined with each other. We emotional beings.
So we become emotionally attached,
right?
But we have to be careful, and this is imperative. We have to become very careful and very aware, and we have to do this. We have to be intentional about who it is that we emotionally connect with or to,
right?
Because if we're not, then before you know it, like our being starts to change.
100%,
because of who we are allowing in, or what we are allowing in.
Right.
And it's like sometimes we ain't even aware of what they carrying, but we attach to them, so therefore we attach to what they're carrying, and now you become pregnant with the fruits of this.
1000%, bro. That's so true, man. I think like, for me, it's like growing up, certain principles was instilled in me, by my mom, my grandma, and they propelled me through life. And I think what you're talking about is so true. It's so true, because if you don't have certain principles already established, when you do encounter certain people, you do get influenced by certain things. Because think about ads. Ads popping up everywhere. You could ride by a store and then on your phone.
I was like, what you just said, brother? You said ads.
Yeah, ads. Okay. So like you could ride by. Okay. Bro, that's funny, dog. That's funny.
I want my eyes,
But nah, man, on the serious, bro. We ride by a store and we already influenced by whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, those are the principles that instill. It could be something small. I'm talking about something on a small level, like food, resisting or craving, whatever the case may be. But I know it's magnified. If you can't handle it on this level, bro, it gets so much magnified, man.
You're right.
It could be something like you said, getting attached to people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because those cravings never got handled on a small level, on a foundational level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I said, man, I think those things are intertwined. And that's just something I just noticed that, like, strengthening, moving forward, in this specific area. Mm-hmm. And then as I go on, I realize how it bleeds into other areas of my life. You know what I'm saying? So what am I actually going for? You know what I'm saying? Because your behaviors determine who you say you are versus what your behaviors tell you are. You know what I'm saying? Super different.
And who you appear to be.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
It becomes also, your behavior is oftentimes what people look at, and that tells them a story of who they feel you are.
100%, bro.
Even if you acting out of the character, the momentary, even if you acting out of a momentary place of emotion. Again, there's that thing again. You emotional at that point. So what you exhibit at that point is being very emotional and explosive, then people look at you and say, "That's that guy there. He's no good. Don't hang around
My
him."
man, short wire right there.
he ready to blow.
Short fuse.
Exactly.
1000%, bro.
I already got the current event for the
What's
day.
up?
So the current event for the day, man, that I would like to discuss, man, is I call this the primetime effect. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the brother known as Deion. Well, the brother that's named Deion Sanders, but I'm talking about also known as Primetime and Neon Deion.
Deion.
But I want to talk about this for a second. I call it the Primetime effect. Why do I call it that? Because Deion has become a huge, well, pun intended, he's in Boulder, Colorado, so he's a boulder, a huge boulder that's connected with a large body of water. And now the ripple effect, which is the primetime effect, is having it's having an impact all throughout the country. And it's like, it's funny because people looking at it, it's like you're forced to be, you're forced to look at it, and people oftentimes that are forced to look at something, they feel like they are forced to have an opinion one way or the other. Some people opinion is driven off the fact that they never liked the guy to begin with.
Right.
And it's interesting because with him, with his type of charismatic energy, it may not bode well with a lot of people. It may not. But that's cool, because the one thing about God that makes God so unique is the fact that God allows us all to be like flavors. And no two people have the same exact flavor. Right. It's a little something different in that flavor.
True.
They may look alike, they may taste similar, but you're like, it's something different. It's a little tart in here. You know what I'm saying? This one here, it's like, it's like, I can't really describe it. It's almost like a mystery flavor. You know what I'm saying? And with Deion could be one of those, desirable tastes the most, and then for some he could just be a tart. I just can't get with him. You know what I'm saying? But that could just simply become that could come from the fact that he's from a different generation than what you're accustomed to anyway. You can be from a generation in which it's straight black and white, and then all of a sudden Deion came on the scene where he brought color into the game, and you're like, yo, now whatever happened to these kids playing around with these all these different color cleats and stuff? I remember we used, when I played the game, it was just white cleats. I remember they had a problem with that a long time ago, man, when people started wearing black socks, black cleats.
Yeah.
Like, why? We always did things by white. But it's like, the thing about it, man, somebody has to dare to be different. Somebody has to be a trendsetter. Somebody has to shake it up a little bit, right, man. Otherwise, the sport itself would get stale.
You gotta change the
narrative. What I'm saying? You never know how much you need certain things to happen until certain things happen. And you, like, for example, like Deion. Like, a lot of people say he's the ultimate showman. The showman. He go out there, man, and it's like, he high stepping at the 50-yard line, and you're like, oh, I don't believe this joker just picked the ball off, and he going, okay, if that's the case, if the man gonna pick a ball off, and he's at the 50-yard starting a high step toward the end zone, somebody need to hit him. If the brother scored, then how you mad?
Right.
How you mad? Right. How are you mad when this man picked you off, started high stepping at the 50-yard line, and still scored a touchdown
for another 50 yards?
How you mad?
You can't be, man.
Okay, let's talk about this. Instead of being mad, get better.
I was about to say that. That's shifting blame. That's really what it is, bro. He shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
You probably should work on your defense.
You should work on the offense, because this man is playing offense from his defense.
Right.
Look, he got you confused now. You telling you? See, again,
that's how it is.
Why
though,
get mad?
Man. That's how it is.
And the thing about it, the man has done it all, man. Like, it caused me to go back and, like, in cases like this, man, in which people like they become polarizing because people they'll look at an individual that's appeared to come up out of nowhere, but really and truly he didn't come up out of nowhere. Deion's story was already, people knew about his story long before he got in the coaching industry. It's almost like Deion went missing for a while, but then when he came back, and when we say popped, he popped back on the scene. It's like now all of a sudden, Colorado people, it's some individuals out there that hadn't paid attention to Deion until he landed the coaching spot at Colorado. The last time they probably paid attention to him was when he played for the Cowboys, maybe. Yeah. Or when he played for Washington on his way out. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So they don't even know what was going on in between. They're like, oh, how he even get a coaching job?
Right.
Don't even know the man was at an HBCU last year. Why? Because now we talking about something that is minor to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But it should be significant also.
Bro, he could have started anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
But he started here.
Exactly. And that says a lot. And now I'm going to get to something else that's a little controversial. We getting ready to go there today.
Let's go, man.
There today. We going there. So right now, let's call it what it is. You have a lot of people in the world that could be classified as Caucasian people that's mad at Deion Sanders right now because they feel like he disrespects the game. Mm-hmm. That's how they might view it. But then get this, understand this. Then you got a lot of people that comes from his same ethnic group or ethnic background that could be mad at Deion too. Wow, they feel like he turned his back on the HBCU.
Yeah, I heard that argument.
So my thing is this here. This man came out and said the same God that told him to come was the same God in essence that told him to leave.
Right. So
if God told a man to come someplace, or you happy that he came,
and he did a good job. He did a great job while he was
so there. Now are you disappointed because you, being a human being, you felt like he should have been there a decade or more, or you felt like he should have retired in this location?
And I would add, bro, if you feel that strongly about it, maybe you should go look into see how you can help, how you can assist. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, look, we like the cat, bro. My thing is this here. Maybe you can learn a thing or two from the brother instead of being mad at him.
Right.
The man told you in so many words, he came to do a job that God told him to do. And when God had him finish with that job and God told him it's time for you to leave, he listened to God and was obedient. Now look at the success he's having because he was obedient. Maybe we need to take and follow suit on that and say, you know what? Right. Maybe I'm mad at the man because God told me a long time ago to leave what I'm doing and I'm still late. Or God told me to stop doing what I'm doing and I'm still doing it.
Bruh, that's a bar, bro.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's a bar.
Maybe that's what it is. But it should never get down to a color thing. And it's becoming this color thing where, man, that's a brother, man, that's a black man. He, you know what I'm saying, why he left the HBCU. He then took it, you know what I'm saying? But maybe we need to stop, and before we start going there and making it about color, maybe we need to stop and ask ourselves, do I know all of the information? Everything that it entailed. Do I know what all he was going through whilst he was there? Was they giving him all of the, the resources he needed to be successful? Or maybe we need to stop and even ask this. Okay, if God told him to leave, what did he leave with? That brother took some coaches with him that may not have otherwise gotten an opportunity at another venue, at the level that he's at now. One of the biggest levels in college you can be at now. Now these brothers getting an opportunity. Some of the kids he took from the HBCU, or if they are elected to go with him, now these kids are getting looked at.
Or either it's a way to get transferred somewhere. If you get enough, maybe you could transfer here. He planted a seed.
Exactly,
planted a seed, man.
Exactly. And that's the thing about it, man. Sometimes, bro, that's what it takes. It takes somebody to make it out. So that now, you know what I'm saying, you have the underground railroad to go to where you want to go at now.
Right.
It's a way out. And sometimes somebody has to be that person to take the chance. Somebody has to be the person to get ridiculed. Somebody has to be the person to sit up there and to get blamed. Somebody has to be the person to be, you know what I'm saying, just the spokesman person for why this can truly work.
Right. The groundbreaker.
Exactly. And that's the thing about it, man. And then when he got to Colorado, they didn't like how he got there. Because, you know, and that's the thing about the futuristic approach and the retro. A lot of time when you're dealing with the retro approach, it's more so, you know, you're going to get real. A whole lot of real. Look, bro, I'm going to tell you right now. You probably ain't going to like how I'm going to do this. Everybody that's on the team probably ain't even going to want to be on the team when I really get, you know, when my feet hit the ground and we get to rolling. Look here. I'm looking at a lot of this around here, and this ain't gonna cut it,
right?
Because this isn't a winning mentality. So I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all I'm gonna give y'all the opportunity right now to just go ahead and bounce. If I'm telling you, if you're not him, just go ahead.
Bro, I was about to say you ain't winning material, but you said it a lot better.
If you're not him, hey, you might want to go ahead and you might want to get with them.
1,000, bro.
And guess what? If you an individual and he comes to he you know, he's in the auditorium, everybody's in the auditorium, they hear this. If you one of them individuals that hear this and it makes you feel less than, then guess what? You're not him.
You're not him, bro.
You're not him.
You're not him. Because you already know what it means.
That's understanding.
A lot of times it's uncomfortable because it requires more of you. You know what I mean? And that's what, you know, not taking it back or taking it out of context, but a lot of times when it comes to changing your body, changing your circumstances,
your mindset,
changing your mindset, it requires so much more of you. It don't even require a lot more than you. It might require that much more of you, but it's so uncomfortable, and that uncomfortability is so not normal to you that you like.
It's drastic.
You know what I'm saying? It's drastic. It's painful. It's a little bit of pain. It's a little bit of uncomfortability. Yeah. It's not. If it's hard, you got to do it hard.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If it's hard, you got to do it hard. And I think, you know, going back to Deion, man, like he went to that HBCU, man. He did what he needed. He did what he could. You know what I'm saying? And he did a ripple effect.
He did more than what he could,
bruh.
That brother, the brother put them in a championship. Like, bro, like on. Let's get this for a second.
Right.
Let's talk about what the brother did, man. The brother went there, and the brother put them on the map.
Right, bro.
Now let's talk about something.
We didn't even know who they was before. Nobody talking about.
Well, I knew who they were, but to be honest with you, you didn't know them like that. Right.
They didn't have the
people might say, you know, they might have called out the team name, but then they ain't knew the colors. It was like 100%. Okay, let's talk about this for a second, because see, this is the stuff people don't be wanting to talk about. Name, image, and likeness. NIL. That's what's taking the college world by storm. So in a sense, when this HBCU hired Deion Sanders, the thing about it, so they won the sweepstakes for NIL too. Mm-hmm. Name, image, and likeness. Now, they already knew. Then we already know one thing about him. We know the brother he gonna pack the house because of his personality alone.
100%.
Now that's Deion working by himself, working from a thought process. Let me tell you how business minded Deion Sanders is. The brother understood. Look, I'm gonna create that person that's in a sense that's electric. Mm-hmm. That person that is charismatic. You know, that person that may be arrogant to some people, cocky to some people, swagged out to some.
But I'm gonna imprint.
I'm gonna leave that imprint.
Right.
But the imprint is gonna be more than just the imprint. It's gonna be impact. Cause I got the skills to back up what it is that I'm going out there saying that I'm gonna do.
Yeah, man.
And now I'ma cause you iron. If I'm iron, I'ma force you to be sharper. Cause if you playing quarterback, you know better than to throw it my way. Cause if you throw it my way, you better be a doggone good quarterback to get it to where it need to go. Or I'ma turn it into offense and I'm taking it to your house.
That's real though, bro. That's what I'm talking about, elevating your game, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's like I said, it's a ripple effect, man. Like, you know, he went down there, did his thing. Now they know what it looks like, what it takes to get to a championship.
Excellence. That's what you
know what I'm saying? And it's like that impacting on those students, those coaches, the staff, the school itself. that's gonna stick around for years if you know how to take advantage of the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Go take it to Colorado, taking full advantage of the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's super big, and a lot of people, like, I agree with you, man. A lot of people giving them a lot of flack.
They giving them flack because they never seen it done like that.
Right, man.
That's
and I
what
feel
it
like
is.
I don't think he, you know, I don't keep up on all the blogs and all this, but I don't. From what I've seen, I haven't seen him. Nothing that I feel like is disrespectful. Nothing I feel like that is leading those people down the wrong path. Nothing that I feel like he's telling those kids that it's wrong, that's gonna, you know, negatively impact their life. Everything is character building. Everything is principle building.
I got a question for you, man. Do me a question. Do me a favor, real quick. Look up real quick the percentage. Like, what is the percentage of when it comes to black people in Boulder, Colorado? I'm just
the population.
Curious. Yeah, the population.
From 2022, African American population in Boulder, Colorado was 1,166.
Okay, that's the
African American population.
How big is Boulder, Colorado?
Population of just over 100,000 and 27 square miles.
Now, how many? What's the percentage of so-called black folk?
1,166. You
see what I'm getting at here?
I feel you, man.
And this is what Deion chose to go at.
That's real, man. I think that's the uncomfortability level, though.
This is what Deion chose to go at. Success is normally measured in wins.
Right.
When you winning, it don't matter what you look like when you out there winning.
100%.
Or who's playing quarterback or who's the coach. None of that. None of that matters. Winning has a way of bringing unity to a community.
100%.
And to be honest with you, in order to really win within your community, it must take unity, because that's when you really can see, you know, you can really see the fruits of your labor coming together, when everybody coming together for a singular purpose.
Right.
Otherwise, man, you got a bunch of dissension. Otherwise, you got a bunch of losing. A torn community.
Right, man. And it don't even have to be physically. I think it could be mentally.
Oh, man,
you
it starts there. It starts
mentally
there.
losing, bro.
It starts there. Man, the thing about Colorado, man, they couldn't have done much. They couldn't have done much worse. Deion would have been a winner at Colorado had he come in, and he could have been a winner after his first game, upsetting TCU. Right. TCU was the team that played Georgia in the championship just this past January. After he upset TCU, what you gonna tell him? But you know what? For a lot of people, that's enough. That's one of those, what you gonna tell me?
Right.
You can't tell me nothing. Cut the check. For a lot of people.
That's real though, bro.
But see, that's probably how they look at Deion. But what they failing to realize, Deion never opened up his mouth and said anything like that other than this. He expected to win. He expected to win. And if after he had taken that first victory, if he would have went ahead and dropped this guard down and said, yeah, we here, baby, we here. Then to be honest with you, he would have still had a losing mentality. Deion, like, on to the next game. We didn't come here just for one win.
Right.
That's not why we here.
Man.
So it's the mentality. He's trying to come there and he's enforcing a winning mentality. So people could not understand when he came there and in that auditorium, he said what he said. Look, a lot of y'all ain't gonna cut it. Y'all might as well leave now. If you then got your feelings hurt off that, then maybe you not that you're not him.
You probably need to go,
yeah,
man.
It ain't no problem in it. If you hurting off of somebody saying something to you,
right,
then you definitely need to go.
You know what's funny, man? I think what you said was key, because it's like if you basking in your last success, then you keep yourself stuck.
You stagnant.
He didn't say he didn't not acknowledge it. He acknowledged his last success, but he wasn't stuck on that, man. I think a lot of times that's where we hurt ourselves at.
And the thing about it, man, none of the winning programs are. Georgia, Alabama. Look at all of these. Yeah, look at all of these. What do they have in common? First of all, whether win, lose, or draw, they give you a 24-hour window. That means you bask in the victory if you won, or if you lost, all right, you could soak, for a little moment, that 24-hour window. After that, it's time to move on.
It's time to get back to work.
Because that game ain't gonna do nothing for you for the next game. Nothing.
It's a whole new game.
Yeah. but it could do something for you.
Right.
If you mess around and if you too high up and you thinking, hey, your head's above the clouds, and guess what? You ain't came back down to understand you got another game coming up the next week. You'll get beat. Or if you get beat by the team the week before, and you still stuck on that loss, then guess what? The next team pretty much should just be dressed just like the last team because the same team beating you twice.
And the crazy thing is, both of them are mentality driven.
Exactly.
Both of them are mentality driven, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So man, dude, that's spot on.
So man, I say on that, man, again, hey, big ups to the homie, man.
100%.
Brother,
big props.
Deion Sanders. And look, man, hey, real talk. Now we around here saying, man, Colorado boy, hey, man, that's for the culture.
100%, bro. I mean, oh man, I totally agree, bro. Totally agree, man.
Wish that brother nothing but success, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Now I'm still a Georgia Bulldog fan. Like that's just, you know what I'm saying. Hey, but again, man, I pull for Colorado.
Man, 100%,
I pull for brother Deion.
Yeah, man, he got my support.
Yes,
100%, bro.
What you got?
Word for thought, man.
I know you got something, brother.
Oh yeah, man.
Brother Deacon.
Yeah. Let me see where I put it at, man. Right here, dog. My bad, man.
Oh, you good.
Word for thought, man.
Yeah, I knew he had something.
You already know. So, my word for thought is from Les Brown. He said, anything worth doing is worth doing badly until you get it right. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly until you get it right. I had to say that a bunch of different times. I had to say it over and over. Break it down. Anything worth doing to you, whatever you think is worth doing. For me, it's working out. I think that's worth doing. I've been doing it pretty badly. You know what I'm saying? Inconsistent, not disciplined, whatever. But I continue to do it until I get it right. Until I reach the goal I'm trying to reach. Anything that is, whether it's business, whether it's family, whether it's working out, whether it's career driven. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly until you get it right. It's got to be worth doing, though. You know what I'm saying? It didn't say anything worth. It didn't just say anything is worth doing. It's saying anything worth doing is worth doing badly.
So you get it right. The underlying word is worth.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a true statement, man. So you got to just keep that in the forefront of your mind. I will repeat what I said earlier, man. He said you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, you know, just getting started, man, it's so powerful in itself. You know what I mean? But that's my word for thought.
Well, shoot, I thank you, brother.
You know what I'm saying? That was it, man. I really appreciate you, E, man, coming through. Great conversation all the time, man. Appreciate you guys for listening. This has been a Real Talk Podcast, man. Catch us every Thursday. Like, share, comment, and peace.
Real Talk.
We appreciate you giving us a listen. If you like this episode and would like to engage with us or support, reach out through our social media platforms, linked in the description, and tune in every Thursday to check out new episodes. See you next week.